Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Vishion with Center for Performance Medicine Rehabilitation. This is not a replay. This is not deja vu. Yes, we are doing this talk over. If anybody saw this on Friday, they saw that we actually had a technical difficulty there. So it was actually Thursday, I'm sorry. So today we're actually going to do this talk again. We want you guys to actually watch it so you're not looking sideways or have to adjust your screen. So I'm happy to announce that Misty was so kind to come out today and join me for another talk. Well, hello, Misty.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. So sorry about the technical difficulties last time.
That's okay, no problem at all. I'm glad we could do it again.
I am too. I think this is going to be some great information, and hopefully it's a Saturday. Hopefully you're just getting up and getting ready for your day. I know for many of you this is the last day of recital, and for some of you it's the last day of recital for possibly the rest of your life, your dancing career. So we're really excited to hopefully share some good news for you, and let's get started. So dancers, dance or rest, what do you do with your summer studio-team break? So let's get into that. Yes, happy summer break. Okay.
Light at the end of the tunnel, we're almost there.
You bet.
We're almost there. We get through recitals and we're ready for summer. Yes, excited.
So summer's a great time, and we all know that, and it's great for you kids and no schoolwork. But you know what? There's a lot that you actually can do in the summer from a dance perspective, and we really want to get into that to give you some direction and a path. So next season you're actually ready and actually hopefully better than you were the previous season.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Awesome. So now what? All right, you want to go through these, Misty?
Sure. You know, there's so many things you could do. You could take a total break, recharge your batteries, do nothing related to dance at all. You could do some cross training, but maybe take a dance break. You know, you could do both. You could cross train and dance at the same time, or you could just really hone in and focus on dancing. Maybe there's a particular area you want to focus on. Maybe there's a particular genre. You know, maybe you want to really focus on hip hop or really focus on ballet or something like that. So there's a lot of different things you could do. A lot of options.
What do you guys think the right answer is? Let's see here. I don't know. There's a lot of choices up there. Oh, wow. All of them.
That's true.
Pretty trick question there, isn't it?
We set you up. Sorry. Yeah.
So let's talk about why. Let's look at each one of those and see why we feel that would be the correct answer.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You just chill. Oh my goodness, especially after coming off, we're kind of coming off recital week. We're ready to chill. You know, everyone's been, I think their bodies have been really taxed a lot this week, and it's been a long season, and you know, we have some dancers who are from dance floor, at least we know, who are headed to nationals, and so their season's not over yet. You know, they've got a couple more weeks to go. But when you get to the end of that, you know, you just want to rest for a little while, and that's okay.
You bet.
Relax, take a break. Don't touch a dance floor or dance shoes for a couple weeks. You're not gonna wreck your dance career by doing that at all.
You bet. And that's one thing that we had talked about previously is dance, gymnastics, and cheerleading are different than any other sport. If you would think of a soccer player, okay, their practice is based on skills and things that they have to do, plays, and they practice those every practice, okay? But actually what predicates what they do on the field during the game is the game itself. And with dance, we know that you guys are learning routines and choreography and things like that. And you practice those, you rehearse those, and you actually perform those. So there's what's called overuse injuries that can actually occur because you're utilizing the same muscles the same way, you're affecting the same joints, same ligaments, same tendons the same way over and over and over and over again.
Exactly.
Again, overuse injury.
Right. You know,
so that rest is important.
It's so important. You know, soccer, football, baseball, whatever. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
With dance, you better know what's going to happen.
You
because
bet. That's what you're being judged on, right?
Exactly. You better be doing the same thing over and over again. But you know, if something hurts the first time you do it, it might hurt the 25th time you do it. So
yes.
You know, it's hard. Yeah.
You bet. You bet.
But
always a but, right?
Chill,
everybody was excited
right?
about woo, rest the rest of the summer. Hey, Dr. Sean and Misty said no more.
Take the summer off,
anything.
right?
Darn, I'm
No,
sorry. I'm sorry we did that to you.
We didn't quite go there. Yeah.
But all right.
can't be a lounge lizard.
You can't.
I know, I like the lizard.
I
I don't know if that's an iguana or a lizard actually, but whatever, we'll go with
That's
it.
good enough.
I know, right? So, short breaks, great. Yes, take a short break, but don't lay on the couch all summer and be a lounge lizard. Just if you plan on dancing in the fall, because you're gonna decondition your body. You're gonna be more prone to injury. I mean, you can speak to all that. It's just.
Well, I would even say if you're done with dance, you still need to slowly let your body down.
That's
I
true.
mean, that's
a good point.
a lot of activity that your body was used to,
Mm-hmm.
and actually regular exercise is actually good for your
Right.
health anyway. So
You
to
should
continue that lifestyle would be a healthy lifestyle.
Definitely, absolutely. So take a week or two off and then get up. So.
Sorry. All right. Go ahead,
Yes.
Misty. She loves this.
I swear I'm gonna get a t-shirt.
All right.
I need the t-shirt of this. The more you sweat in times of peace, the less you bleed in times of war. Just true.
A little bit concerned about the bleeding in the war here.
Well, it just is. I mean,
This is true, right?
It can get ugly out there
You bet.
sometimes. Yes. And obviously this was written with the military in mind, but it's so true, and you can kind of see the parallels between soldiers and dancers. Honestly, I mean, they have to prepare and really train so that they know what to do on the battlefield, and maybe you're less likely to have horrible things happen. Same thing with dancers or any other athlete, actually. You know, the more you prepare, the more you get ready for the season, the more you do the work ahead of time that you need to do, the less likely it's going to be to turn out the way that you don't want it to have an injury or, you know, have something go wrong. So I love this. I'm going to, my RJ Elite team, guess what? You're going to get a poster of this because it's a good one. So I love it.
All right, dancers need to condition. Why the need for supplemental conditioning beyond regular classes? In classes, you work on technique, you work on specific routines, those types of things. Not much time spent on intense workouts. We're going to get into that exactly, specifically what conditioning you need in regards to those workouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's look at anaerobic versus aerobic activity. Now, typically with aerobic activity, that's something that's going to be from 3 minutes on, meaning doing a consistent activity, walking, running, routine choreography for more than 3 minutes. Typically what you're seeing in a dance studio or in a dance team is anaerobic activity. That's from 5 seconds to 3 minutes. So there is a big difference when we're talking about conditioning related to how well your body is going to be suited for doing these activities. Now, there are different muscle groups and different types of muscles that are affected when you're doing both types of activities. So both types of activities are very important,
Right.
especially for your stamina and conditioning,
Right.
and actually preventing injury.
Right.
Because a lot of those core muscle groups that we talk about all the time, and the importance of engaging them and having an appropriate strength in those areas, are affected in that aerobic activity because they sustain balance, they sustain movement, they sustain posture.
Mm-hmm.
And those things are very important.
They're so important, and you need to be doing both. And I think dancers so much of the time get stuck in the anaerobic side of it, just by the nature of what we do.
Yes.
But if we don't do the aerobic side, I think we're setting ourselves up to not be as strong dancers. You know, not be as do the kinds of sustained activity that we need to do, and then it's really hard, especially with teams that I coach, like Elite. It's basically, when you do a palm routine like that, it's a 2-minute sprint. Try to sprint for 2 minutes.
Definitely.
I mean, it's not easy to do that at all. So, it's your ability. So.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. We just had a power surge.
I think someone does
Did
not
you
want
see
us
that?
to
I know. Did
talk.
you see the lights
I know.
just go off?
Wait, okay.
Okay, sorry about this.
Someone does not want this information to get out, so you better keep watching because it's
That's
good
right.
stuff.
This is extremely important.
Right, completely.
This is crazy. Okay. What's the benefits? Well, several important benefits to supplemental conditioning found by numerous medical studies. And we're going to talk about this, but these are the big things. Decreased body fat percentages. Now, I don't want you to obsess that, I'm 3%, well, if you're 3 or 4%, and you got to watch that. So, the body fat percentages is just a byproduct. It's not something that I want you to focus on, but less body fat usually means a healthier individual. I'm not someone that starves themselves though.
Right, no.
It increases metabolic rate, and I really think of your metabolism like a big fire, okay? And especially with lower body activity, it really increases that metabolic rate. So it's extremely important, and it really helps you use that energy and use that food more efficiently, and we're going to get into that as well. It reduces exercise-induced injuries as well because you're being able to sustain those movements. So you're being able to do the power movements as well as you're able to sustain the longevity that you need of doing that same routine or that same choreography over and over and over again.
Well, and I think that's by far the biggest part of this. You know, dancers need to supplemental condition and really make sure that they're in the best possible shape to avoid these injuries, because I see so many kids come through, and especially those middle school years, and I'm sure you can speak to the physiological issues along with that. There's so much growth involved, and they often don't condition properly, and that's where you see those injuries happen. And those injuries, it can last through the rest of their lives. So if we can get them in advance and get them properly conditioned and get them ready for that, to do all the dancing that they need to do, you're going to reduce the chance that they're going to have an injury. And if they have an injury, you're going to reduce the time that they spend rehabbing from that injury. But I love to catch them before they get injured, right? I have 2 daughters who dance, so this is not just a dance teacher issue for me. This is a mom issue. You know, I have 2 very different dancers, and I have one with a genetic disorder, and so she has to work on injuries a lot. We had another one. Okay, we're just going to talk, and we're going to ignore this, and we're just going to keep talking through this.
Yes,
okay. So I have one dancer who has a genetic disorder, and she has to constantly work on rehabbing after injuries and keeping herself as healthy as she possibly can within the confines of this genetic disorder that she has. I have another dancer who rarely has injuries, and I think it's because she's doing performance training and supplemental training here at CPM&R. I am a huge fan of this place. I absolutely am. I'm a huge fan of Dr. Vishion and Dr. Doty because I've seen it work. I mean, I've seen it work with my own children. I've seen it work with other dancers. I've seen it work with other athletes.
Does it work for you?
And it has worked for me. Forget me.
Come on, dancer.
I know. It has worked for me. Yes, I did. I had a severe back injury a couple of years ago and thought I was done, completely done.
Yeah, I mean, just a year ago or a couple of years ago, you were saying you were thinking about telling everybody that you're really going to have to take a step back. Right?
Oh, I was.
And now we're coaching together.
I know. Now we're coaching together. That's amazing. That's so much fun. I love
awesome.
that. Yeah. So yes, you did pull me back from that injury. So thank you very much.
Well, you were a good patient, so I couldn't have done it without you. And that is actually an important thing, is the cooperation from the patient or the person that is dedicated to be able to do this. I mean, I don't have any magic potions, lotions, or wands, so it's a commitment on both sides.
Right, it really is. It really is. So
just like this is a commitment, what we're talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely. So from the mom perspective, I know that I am absolutely willing to make the investment to have my kids in here doing the kind of training and conditioning that they need. My oldest daughter will tell you she would not be dancing without these guys and without this clinic, and it is absolutely 100% true. She would not be able to dance without y'all, so we are very grateful for that, very much so. But for my younger daughter, she has avoided injury, and she's gotten so much stronger. Her dancing and her stage presence and just her overall health has improved so much in the past year with just performance training that she does here, and she comes once a week, and it's been fantastic. And I even gotten our 7-year-old in here, getting him started on doing some workouts and getting him properly conditioned so he can do the bazillion and one sports he does. I can't keep up with what he does. But so anyway, from the mom perspective, I know it's hard. I know sometimes you go, seriously, I got to supplemental condition this kid on top of everything else that we're doing. It is an investment that is, to me, 100% worth it, absolutely, without a doubt. So I would say yes, put the work in, put the time in, put a little bit more money in. Dance floor for months and months and months, or permanently wreck them. I've seen girls have injuries so bad they never got to dance again competitively, and I don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. It really is true. You don't pay me. I promise he doesn't pay me to do this. I'm just passionate about this because I know it works. So unlike this, which is not working. So I think we just finished talking. We know the topic. Let's just talk.
I know. Well, I'm a, you know me, I'm a PowerPoint guy. I'm sorry.
He's a powerful guy. I can just have conversations.
I know. I know. I'm all about, you know, what's next.
Okay. All right.
So sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead.
So, I mean, I think you really hit all that.
Okay.
I mean, I think we're talked about the perfect breeding ground for, you know, injuries and so
Right.
on and so forth. So thank you for sharing that personal story. I appreciate
absolutely.
that every time.
Absolutely.
What is the benefits? I mean, I think you already hit into that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only passively but actively,
Mm-hmm.
as far as, because many times the passive movements that you're doing don't really show up with the active movements that you're performing and the strength that you need.
Well, and it's why, as a mom, I take my kids through it. As a coach, I take my dancers through this.
Yes.
Because they're going to get so much better when they do it. And we are. Elite, we're coming for you. High intensive training. Let's do it. I love it.
Eureka and Lafayette.
Oh, we're
as well.
coming for you too.
Great technique needs to translate into, it does, it translates into great performance.
Well, it's
okay?
you have to have
It
both
is.
of these. You
It
have
is.
to have great technique, and then you have to have that energy. You have to have that conditioning
Yeah.
to be successful. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is.
That's right.
It's a simple formula.
You bet.
Okay.
I'm going to go through some somewhat boring studies, but again, I'm a you know, put your mouth and your words to actually some facts. So I'm going to give you actually some background and some understanding. I know this may be a little bit boring, but for you, you know, information heads that, oh yeah, right. Well, here's the proof in the pudding right here for the research that we see. So 2009 Dance Performance Quality Measurement Study. And these are actually, what's great about this is these are actually done on dancers. I know I said dance, but many of the research that was done previously to this was just athletes in general. And they would just kind of apply it to the dance, exciting for us to get this information.
Yes.
But the dance company directors rated the dancers on their aesthetics competency.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what that is how beautiful, how elegant, how
Good.
I know.
What
is this? Higher level of fitness is associated with more an aesthetic competency rating.
Right.
Okay. So
Right.
actually,
Stage
the more shape that you're in, the better you look.
Well, exactly.
Okay,
It's that stage
so,
presence. And you know,
yes.
you ever watch dancers and you go, they just make it look so effortless. Well, they make it look so effortless because they spend hours and hours and hours doing this.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So dancers with the greatest vertical, okay, and that came from that lower body power that they have there, and also associated with that upper body muscular endurance that they need to keep that posture, to keep those positions that they need.
Exactly.
So many times we see with dancers that even have really good technique, they have poor posture.
Yes.
They have, which actually affects their movement and affects their technique
It
as well.
absolutely does.
So
It
that's a big thing that we see. So the lower body and the upper body are just as important.
Absolutely. I tell dancers all the time, especially since I specialize in POM, we need really strong upper bodies. And I am amazed at how weenie dancers are and their upper bodies, me included. I mean, it is ridiculous. And so that balance between the upper and the lower body is hugely vital. And I learned that the hard way when I hurt my back so badly, because I focused so much on making sure my legs were in shape, and I, had that much power down there, but hadn't paid attention to the upper body and really from the hips up, and it was bad. But you fixed it.
Well, let me hurry up and read this.
Okay, right.
2012 Dancer Supplemental Fitness Program, another study. After 6 weeks of circuit training with plyometrics and resistance exercise, dancers saw improvement in aerobic fitness, lower body power, and upper body muscular balance and endurance. Okay, so there's that endurance that we're talking about that we're needing also.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Oh wait, is that you?
No.
No. Okay.
I wish, but right? Not even 25 years ago.
Why work on conditioning? The bottom line is all dancers need to be in peak conditioning to perform at their best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's really,
And you're not going to be at your best and have that peak conditioning just being in the studio dancing.
Yes.
You need more than that.
Yes, most definitely. So which kind of conditioning is best? Running? I don't know. Swimming? hey, it's beautiful out, it's summertime,
Right,
swim.
right.
Pilates, well, everybody says Pilates work, right? Yoga, aerobics, yeah, I could go to an aerobic class, who knows? How about high intensity interval training? What is that?
I like that.
Some of you may know what that is.
Right. So, the good news is we like, all of that's fun. It is, it's good, it's fun. Hey, come back on really quickly. So, all of it's good. It kind of depends on what you like to do. I only run when chased, so I don't run.
You're not a runner?
I'm not a runner.
Okay.
Not a runner at all. Swimming is great. It's great for your joints, but it's kind of, you need a pool. Which not everyone has, or you don't have
You don't
access
have a pool in
to
your
one.
backyard?
I don't. I
either,
wish.
so,
Yeah. Pilates, you need very specific equipment to
I mean,
really do it well.
Right. Many people will get a CD or get some type of prescription on the internet or subscribe to something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nothing like going to a real studio that actually has the appropriate tables, the equipment, and the instruction while you're doing it.
Right, exactly.
Many people will walk in here and I'll say, okay, what happened? Well, I was watching a yoga video and I overdid it, or I was watching a Pilates video and I overdid it. If you already have the initial training, those things can work.
Mm-hmm.
But without having the initial instruction, being in those two disciplines for a period of time, having the appropriate person instruct you in that, yes, your risk of injury unfortunately can go up.
It can. So that's just an endorsement for any Pilates studio in there. We're saying go to the Pilates studio if you're going to do Pilates, and to have those certified professionals or yoga. Yeah, have those people help you out and do that there. So go there, go Pilates. Yeah.
So we kind of looked at all these. Running can be really hard on the joints. There's a lot of pounding that occurs. Some people love to run. Some people, it's just too much on their bodies, and especially when we're talking about dancers that typically have what's called hypermobility, meaning their joints seem to have more flexibility than normal because the supporting tissues have more flexibility than the average individual. Many times running is I don't recommend that, way too hard on their joints as far as that aspect of it.
Exactly.
Swimming is great, but unfortunately you need some type of facility, or maybe some of you have a pool in your backyard, but when it's 30 degrees out, there's no pool either.
Mm-hmm.
Or when it's raining, you can't go out there either, thunderstorms. So sometimes that can throw your workouts out. And then with Pilates, we had talked about with yoga and Pilates the importance of actually making sure you're going to a place. Again, you got to drive somewhere typically. There's got to be some type of instruction there, so on and so forth. Aerobics, for especially younger kids, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you aerobic heads out there, especially the older people that may be watching. I know many of you love it, but what we've noticed is it's hard to keep their attention. They get bored with it, so on and so forth. And our generation now, it's going to be instant gratification. So that's where we see from our experience.
Right.
As well.
True.
Again, all of these can be very,
Absolutely.
very good tools.
If you like it, do it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You can't go wrong. But what we really like, and what the research actually shows us, is that these high-intensity interval training is actually most beneficial and for the time, and you can pretty much do it anywhere. That's the beauty of it. So it's a quick hit type of workout. Okay, you get in there, you get her done. It's intense. You can, like I said, you can do it anywhere, and you can even do it outside. Where the weather is beautiful, you don't even have to be inside, which, I would encourage you to do that. It's fun. So.
Well, and it combines the aerobic and the anaerobic, which is so important. You can hit every muscle group that you need to, because dancers talk a lot about making sure you're balanced on both sides, the right and left. But again, as we talked about, you need to be balanced upper and lower as well. And you can create
symmetry.
The symmetry. You can create the HIIT workouts to really address your specific needs, and then really also hit absolutely entire whole body, get it done.
Right.
So, that's fun.
Yes. And, if you have questions about the HIIT workouts, so on and so forth, that's actually something that you can either email us or message us that, and we could definitely give you some direction as far as that.
Well, and absolutely, that's the other thing that I love about the HIIT workouts. You customize it to whatever you as an individual need or you as a team need. I know we consult now with Lafayette and Eureka's dance team program. And it's so much fun. We're super excited about it. And then we also coached the elite team the elite
Renee Johnson.
Yes, exactly. And so to be able to customize their HIIT workouts, and they're all different, because the teams are different and the girls are different. So each one of them has very different needs that we're working on for them. That makes it more relevant for the girls, and it makes it way more effective too. So I love that.
So with a HIIT workout, you would say that there's possibly in the beginning there needs to be some type of instruction to know what's going to be best and to utilize for that.
Definitely. Okay. And we also change it up. I mean, we don't do the exact same workout every single week. I mean, we'll try it for a little while, and then as we see their bodies change and their needs change, or as they get routines and...
I was just going to say, we were talking about those routines. You get routines with workouts, and those need to continually change as well.
Exactly. So that's the other part of the HIIT training. It's fun.
Awesome. So another study, 2015 reviewed several studies consist of findings of these short duration, high intensity exercise for these dance sessions would be beneficial. And it really did. It showed that it's, break those plateaus and those daily routines, and they really saw an improvement throughout their dance companies.
Well, and I love this study because you will see it. I have daughters who dance for 10 years now, and so watching their kind of trajectory, you can see points where they really make huge improvements in 1 year, and then there are points where they kind of plateau.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, what's going on? Why are they not improving? We're doing all the same stuff. I don't understand what's happening.
Kind of like with the lights.
I don't understand what's happening. but they'll hit those plateaus. They're natural plateaus. They just happen in an athlete's career.
And also, you can hit those plateaus when you're going through those adolescent growth spurts as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, all of a sudden, your daughter or son was able to do some type of dance move, and all of a sudden, it seems like it vanished the next year. Wait a minute. You can do a quad. Why can't you not do that anymore? Or you could do multiple pirouettes. What's going on? Or you can't even balance yourself. I mean, when you're passe, you keep falling over.
Right.
So there can be a variety of things that can occur from these growth spurts, because when you grow explosively. I mean, your skeletal structure grows first. Mm-hmm. And then your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and more importantly, your brain has to catch up with all this growth. So it can have those fundamental effects that, well, wait a minute, how did this dancer lose their talent? Well, they haven't. They just have to reconnect with that.
Right. So. And HIIT workouts, I think, do that better than anything else.
You bet. So additional benefits of the HIIT workout, again, you saw this before, and it meets all those needs, is decreasing body fat percentages, increasing resting metabolic rate, less exercise-induced injuries. So or damage to the muscles. So that's great. And you won't bulk up. It's not going to create a bulking, and it won't decrease your your flexibility. I mean, that's a big thing that everybody's always concerned about from the dance community. Oh my gosh, we'll look like a bodybuilder working out, up there. No. Or, oh man, I get so bulky, I'm not going to have beautiful lines, and I'm going to lose my flexibility.
No.
It's just not true. It's not true.
No. Especially when you can customize the HIIT workouts for dancers.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. You bet. Must take enough good fuel to meet the demands of the training and performing.
We're gonna go there.
Woo!
We're gonna go there, dancers.
Sorry.
I know it's summer. I know you want to sit around and eat Doritos and lounge on the couch
and
all
ice
summer.
cream.
And ice cream.
Who doesn't like ice cream?
Well, I do. So you can have a few days of that, but
moderation
and balance.
You bet.
Imagine. Here, we're gonna talk about it again.
So we're going to talk about putting good fuel in, which will actually give you a good performance out.
Yes.
So what is your caloric intake? What about carbohydrates, fats, proteins, micronutrients and minerals, fluids? These are all these things that we're going to actually be touching on. Okay.
And they're all good.
They are, most definitely. In this talk, we're going to be touching on this.
Right.
I have done nutritional talks.
Nutrition for dancers. Yes.
So that's something else that you can look back through our Facebook and actually on our site.
Yes.
GetHealthySTL.com,
mm-hmm.
and actually look for these specific talks that will give you more of a thorough information, actually some dietary ideas and so on.
Exactly. It's called Nutrition for Dancers. Check it out, and it was a great, very detailed talk, and it's good info.
Awesome. So like we said, strive for balance. Variety is essential. So is the need to enjoy what you eat. Now, this is not a diet.
Right.
This is a lifestyle,
mm-hmm.
okay? So what we're talking about here could pertain to anybody in your household.
Right.
You go to your mom or dad and say, hey, you know what, I want to change my eating habits, and they should get on board with you, because all these things will apply to them. You know, your brothers and sisters can hate me for saying that, because now they're going to have to be eating as better as well. But I will say we have changed things in our own household based on this, just because it's good, healthy eating. It's good habits to get in.
Absolutely, and we're not saying you have to eat Brussels sprouts and tofu all
No.
summer.
No.
If you don't
No.
like it, don't eat that.
Yes.
But you can find good,
can.
healthy foods
You
and
really
make a
can.
balance, and then go have the ice cream.
Yes.
Summer, go
Right.
hot dog.
Yes, exactly.
Joy.
Most definitely. Water.
Oh my goodness.
So
yes.
very important. I said water. I'm not talking about, an energy drink.
No. Or Starbucks.
Yeah, or exactly.
Yeah.
Water is so very important. We know how much of your body is made up of water and the importance of that. So it is so important for reducing fatigue, keeping your body from having injuries, causing actually fluids to hydrate your discs and your back and your joints, again, to protect them and keep them safe as well.
Well, and it's not only important that you drink water, it's how you drink the water. And dancers do this all the time, and I'm so guilty. You dance, and then you get a quick break, and you go and you slam down
a whole bunch of water.
And it never occurred to me that this was a bad idea until Dr. Vishion, that's not a good idea. I'm like, you're right. You can tell him all the details behind why that is, but it's not good for you to do it like that. You shouldn't be sipping.
You're overloading your system. Your body, you're taking on too much water too fast, so it pretty much just goes right to your kidneys, and what happens? Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom 5 minutes later.
So you don't get the benefits of it.
You don't get the benefits of it.
Right.
So slowly, walking over each little break, taking a little sip, coming back, that is the way to address essentially rehydrating yourself.
Right, sipping, not chugging.
You got it. I mean, when you're having cramps, when you're feeling nauseous, when you're feeling lightheaded, which unfortunately creates really bad dancing. I mean, you've only really lost 3%. Okay, and for some of you that may not sound a lot, which it's on the big grand scheme of things, it's not. But that shows you how important water actually is.
Well, and how quickly it can go south if you don't get enough
Most
water.
definitely.
So
Most
be
definitely.
on top of that, ladies.
You bet. So what are your basic needs as far as from a dance aspect? And we look at males and females as well. Thank you. But for I better go through this quick. For carbohydrates, it's 55 to 60%. For protein, you're looking at 12 to 15%. For fat, you're looking at 20 to 30%. Okay, and this is a percentage of your overall food intake. And for the calories, and we were talking about caloric intake, you want to be about 45 to 50 calories per kilogram of body weight. And then for males, it'd be 50 to 55 caloric intake as far as per kilogram.
That sounds like a lot of math for the non-math
It's
people.
not that bad.
So Google how to convert kilograms to pounds, and then figure it out from
That's
there.
what the research tells us.
Right,
so.
exactly. So
It's like 1.3 or something like that.
Yes, right. So, but it's mostly, again, it's balance. I mean, you have all the different food groups and all the different kinds of foods because you need balance. So, balance it all out.
Definitely.
Have the good stuff. While you also have the healthy stuff. We can all. It's all good. It's all good. Except for the chocolate ice cream. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Chocolate.
Right.
Gosh, everybody loves chocolate, right?
That's my thing.
Okay. Do you want to go over that?
Sure. So bottom line, question is, but do I dance this summer? Well, sure, absolutely, especially if you want to, right? Go do it. But I think everyone's path looks a little different depending on your individual unique needs and what you need and what you need to do. It's a great time in the summer when you're kind of in the off season, quote unquote, to focus on the fundamentals. If you do nothing else, go take a ballet class every once in a while. I mean, most studios have summer just technique classes. You can drop in and take a class, take a ballet class, because that's that fundamental. You can't get too much of that. Go and do that. But then from there, just kind of decide what you want to do, how you want to grow as a dancer, what your goals are, and then take it from there. Again, I have 2 daughters who dance, and they're very different. And so this summer, they're taking very different paths. It's kind of making me crazy because I'm running all over the place, but that's okay because I love them, right? So I've got one who's really just going to focus on getting healthy, getting some strength training, and getting her performance training going on, and trying some fun stuff. She's been trying ballroom this summer because it's fun. And then I have another daughter who's going in a completely different role. We're doing some traveling for her to work on different aspects of dance that she wants to, and she's going to continue the performance training as well because it's done so well for her. But so they're in very different directions. So look at what you want to do. Look at your goals. Sit down and figure out what you want out of yourself for the next year, or, and then make a path from there. So
Definitely.
yeah, do your thing.
Excellent.
But go to ballet class.
So, we love it. So chill,
But you should also
cross
chill.
train, and dance.
Yes,
So,
yes, and chill out. Go
Yeah.
after recital week, take a week off. Are you
at
kidding?
least.
Yeah, at least a week, and just
lay in bed and hang
hang
out
out and
and
see your
read a
friends
book
and
and
lounge
do
by the
something that's
pool
going to
and-
be alright. That's going to be fulfilling, and don't sit there on electronics all the time,
Oh my
because what does
gosh.
that do to your posture? It pulls it in, and that's kind of counterintuitive as far as what you're trying to succeed at.
right.
So.
Put the phone down. Go
Yeah.
talk to your friends face to face.
Right, exactly.
I know, there's a concept, right?
There you
Yeah.
go, yeah.
I know. Here
Take
I
a
am.
walk, go out, take a hike, do something.
Right,
Literally,
yes.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly,
Just
yeah.
enjoy yourself.
But yeah, cross train and then dance.
You bet.
Yeah.
Well, Misty Thompson, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And sorry about the
Pleasure.
technical errors. It seems like we continue to have technical
That's
errors,
fine.
but we made it through. We're excited
Yay,
about
we
it.
did it. We did it. So
I'm
thank you
Dr.
for
Michael
having me.
Vishion with Center for Performance Training and Rehabilitation. Thank you for joining us again, and also please give us any feedback, any information that you'd like to hear, that you liked or that you didn't like, or that you want us to expound upon. We really want to hear your feedback. That would be very, very important. And please visit us at our site, gethealthystl.com, and look forward to speaking with you next week.